Krista Uwase. I'm a visual artist. I do collage art, textile art, and fiber art. And when I'm not making art, I'm a student of life. My handle is Uwasenanyina, meaning one who belongs to the father and the mother. Painting I started in 2009, but I'm not a painter. I'm a collage artist, so I do collage. I started doing collage professionally in 2013. My references came from the literature books, the English books that I would read. In these books, there were so many different artworks, from paintings to sculptures. So I had read these, and also I would say my mother's work. My mother was doing tailoring work, so she would tell me, if you want to create something, or if you're learning how to make clothes, like the dressmaking, you start with paper. So I started making paper dresses, and from there I moved to using paper to make art. Yeah. Not really, but sometimes I do use my body to create artworks, like the subject or a few references. But most times it's what I see, what I think, and what I imagine the world that the world should be. I imagine a peaceful world, a world where we understand, and also where we explore our intelligence, especially us as Africans, because they usually say we are underdeveloped or we haven't developed. So sometimes I tend to think that we haven't explored the richness that we have in our brains. And I imagine us advancing beyond the usual, Most times we have this imported culture, imported ideas, and I feel like there's a territory we haven't touched, we haven't visited, Healing is a form of repair, it's a form of reconnection, and I would say bringing balance. Because chaos is there. It's not, we can't say we can't live with chaos, but chaos is there. So when you heal, you bring balance to the chaos, because there's organized chaos. Yes, art is a powerful tool for healing. It always does that work, even though you don't have an intention to heal people. It automatically does that. It speaks to people. Someone might look at a chaotic work. Maybe for you it was very chaotic, it was a painful piece, but then when they look at it, they feel like you've put out their own story. You didn't intend that. You didn't intend to heal anyone, but you are just looking for an outlet. And then to someone else, it becomes a tool for them to heal. So in my work, yes, there's the healing part, especially the works that touch the works that talk about the dark skin, us loving the dark skin, the Africanness. So I've seen that part, people loving these works. At first they would say, why have you created dark figures? Why are they dark? But as time went on, they would start to love these works. They would start to relate, to see themselves in the works. So whether you have the intention or not to heal, the work does that. It's mental. It's mental, psychological, spiritual, and emotional than physical. Actually, we're more familiar with the physical healing, where we see wounds and they change and they turn into scars. But then there's the invisible part of healing, where everything happens in the mind, in the heart, and in other higher levels, which we can't see, the invisible ones. So it's a very big thing.
So how has art changed how you see your place in the world?
It has really changed my perspective. It has changed the way I think, and it has put me in a place where I see myself as I'm larger than the body and everything, than this whole human thing, the constructs, because I see it as a wheel and a portal for me to understand this world. The feedback is what helps me gain new perspective. But also on the other hand, I usually start conversations like on my social media platforms. So there's an exchange of knowledge, there's an exchange of perspectives, perception, feelings, experiences. So I'm not separate and I'm not creating in isolation. I usually engage, and sometimes the conversation starts around my body. Like people look at me and they ask me, why do you have this? Why do you have that? And then from there we talk. There's a conversation happening. And when I'm creating, sometimes it might not be in the work, but it informs the work. So yes, community plays a big role in my work. Art has been like a tool to rebuild and people to find their identity. The way I see it is Rwandans have lost an identity, and especially young Rwandans, and they've been in search for this identity. So art has been like the ground where they stand and the foundation where they pick different pieces to rebuild themselves. For example, I see it with the music, where they are going to concerts, to events, and you see that they're trying to they're trying to come back. Today it's totally different. You see so many young Rwandans attending exhibitions, following up, and like they're interested, which is something that tells me that they've found a place where to be, where to reconnect from. Colors. I love colors in my works, and colors play a big role in healing and also appreciating the earth, the world, because it's colorful. We have the green grass, the blue sky, the different flowers.
Can you tell us a bit about this painting and just a bit of a background behind this painting?
This work celebrates the contributions of women in the food sector, the agricultural sector, and their contributions to the economy. So this work focuses on women preparing and sorting grains, and the title is Grain and Chaff. You can call it a painting. So it's collaging is a way of painting.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's made with paper. I tear paper into bits and then I paste it onto a canvas. And I've also painted over to add in more little forms.
And is this artwork part of a series that you have or that you have done before in the past?
Yes, there were only 3 pieces with a story. This one is about the sorting. Then we had where there's an artwork that talked about the sowers, the women who grow grains or food. So which means that they're playing a big role in the food sector because they sow and they come to sell their produce. And then there are women who are sorting, and then there are women who are packing. And the other one was more about the technique of winnowing, where you are sorting grain from chaff by throwing the grains in the air, and then the wind does the work. So I was interested in the physics there and capturing that story of where people work together, but then they create songs, melodies, like to boost and for morale.
If your art could say one thing to the next generation, what would it be?
Power. It's always power. There's power in the returning to oneself, returning to who one is, who one believes they are. And like I said, whether we talk about bodily autonomy or identity or the dark skin or heritage, we've encountered a disruption in all this. There's been something that has separated us from our own power. So we need to reclaim that very power.